So now let's get back to that $29 optional fee I mentioned with AT&T's new fiber service. It's great that AT&T is now trying to compete with Google Fiber in Kansas City. We see that the price gouging is going on because all of a sudden Google offers fiber and now AT&T offers fiber for the same price. But AT&T's gigabit service could end up costing you $99 a month instead of $70 if you want to opt out of the company's internet preferences program. This is effectively a spying program. It tracks the web pages you visit, the time you spend on each, the links or ads that you see and follow, and all of the search terms that you enter. This is a program that works independently of your browser's privacy settings. So even if you turn on Do Not Track, even if you reject cookies, even if you use private browsing, this is something that works outside of that. Unless you pay AT&T $29 extra a month, they will use the information they collect about your web browsing to help serve you targeted ads, regardless of what web browser and privacy preferences you set. Google Fiber does not track users, but we know that Google does track users through a lot of their applications. And if you use Gmail, if you use YouTube and the ad display, YouTube does track, Google does track, but in a different way. Now, if you pay the $29 to AT&T and say, I don't want to participate in this, they still do all of the same data collection. It's just that they don't use it to serve targeted ads via third-party advertisers. This, Lewis, is certainly a concern because this now is built into the connection. It is outside of whatever browser you're using. It's outside of your browsing preferences. And you can't even pay them, as absurd as it is to have to pay so that they don't spy on you and give your information to third parties. If you pay, they still will collect the data. They'll just presumably keep it private.
I know a lot of people think that Google is Big Brother and all of that, but I think this is a perfect example of how all companies are really trying to do this. And I think if Google does a good job at informing the public that AT&T is doing this, that should really give them the edge when competing in this area.
Let's consider how much AT&T must be making from the sale of user preferences and data. If $29 a month is what they've decided they want to charge to not sell your data for ad purposes, this is very valuable data. When we look at the internet, and when we look at television, right? When you say, well, what is the product that exists in television? The product is you, the viewer's attention, right? And there is a significant value to your attention as a viewer. That is why AT&T says, if you don't want us using your data for these purposes through which we make money, you've got to give us $29. I bet most people don't realize that their attention span is worth that much to advertisers.
I wouldn't have guessed it was that much. That is some seriously valuable information. And just makes me hate AT&T all the more.
And not that it is actually worth $29 a month, but what AT&T has clearly determined is that as part of their broader marketing efforts, combined with, I'm sure, the technical costs of having somebody opt out, all of that together, they've decided $29 is what we're going to charge to have people opt out. I know I will get some emails saying, David, do you know how many ads an individual would have to look at to be worth $29 based on typical internet advertising CPMs? I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that altogether, including the opt-out technology and all of the fixed costs, $29 is still quite a bit. All right, let's take a break. Next, we will talk about champion of freedom and liberty, Rand Paul, who seems to oppose internet freedom. Why is that?